Hi, you guys. It's good to be with you. Happy pre-Thanksgiving madness. I usually don't do gratitude work around Thanksgiving because it's just too cliche for me. I'm more of a shadow worker. But this Thanksgiving felt a little different in that as I think about gratitude and as I think about the concepts of what it is to rewire ourselves and to balance out where we were wired based on the trauma packets within our bodies, I feel like gratitude is a really important thing to wire into our brain and our neural pathways, the way we think about the world. And I think that things like gratitude and compassion are on the spiritual path are just assumed you should be able to access those states. But compassion, I feel like, is a really, really high spiritual state to authentically access. And gratitude, I put near there. Now, that might be because I am Pitta constitution. I have a lot of fire. Most of my energy is in my will chakra, and compassion and gratitude come from the heart. Even abundance comes from the heart chakra. So if you're like me and you're not naturally wired in the heart, where the heart is where your work is, I mean, ideally, we're all working ourselves back into a place of love and oneness. But I'm just talking about having caring and generosity and being super loving as part of your nature because you have a strong heart chakra. Some people just do. Now, that doesn't mean there's not strings attached to that giving and that generosity, and that's a whole other story. But for me, I wasn't wired up in a way that gratitude or abundance felt natural to me. In fact, I have a strong negative mind, and my mind was wired up to scan what's not working, where are we at scarcity wise, who should be doing something that they're not, like the opposite of gratitude and abundance. And I know many of us are naturally wired that way. And so we get onto the spiritual path and we're being all grateful and abundant. And really, our trauma packets or our neural pathways or our body chemistry are wired for what's not working and how we don't have enough and how we are not enough. Pretty fascinating, right? So the first thing that I always recommend is to start a gratitude practice. It's not going to feel natural or normal or even accessible to some of us who don't have super open, heart chakras in that way. For me personally, the times and the spaces where I've felt the most gratitude is where I've watched the universe manifest for me out of somewhat thin air, what felt like thin air. Like if you read my first book, I talk about the first time my first manifestation being my husband. So from that point on, that awe that I felt of being given such abundance by practicing the vibration of worthiness, which I may not have been feeling at that time in my 20s. And to have attracted such a good person who is so capable of caring and safety and stability into my life. From that point on, what I was able to do is really look at that manifestation in such awe, such almost disbelief, which brought abundance from me, or a belief in abundance. Not just scraping by with what I can get from the world, which was much of my life and survival, but really like awe-inspired abundance. But that, of course, doesn't last because the brain is wired to scan for what we don't have or what we need or what's not working. So the practice of gratitude, actually focusing the mind into a space of what's working, what's worked out for us, what mini miracles are showing up in our lives, that practice begins to wire the brain. It doesn't have to be a written practice. After we moved to California, which was a big manifestation, again, it's in my first book, the 7-year workup to get this move to California. When we got here, I was so sick and grumpy and really not in a good place. And it was at that point my husband really stepped up as my body was shutting down because I had an infection that had spread to my brain. And when I got to the other side of that, I felt such a deep sense of gratitude, but I realized he didn't know how grateful I was. And I also recognized that my expression of gratitude was severely lacking. So I started an appreciation practice. And I recommend this for anyone who's in a partnership that's pretty okay, or even in a partnership that's not okay right now. So I silently started an appreciation practice where every day I just filtered, what am I grateful for with respect to how he's showing up? And every day I'd let a little thing seep out, but it was like building and building and building, like a pressure cooker in a good way. Like the practice created momentum in my body. And I would just say, wow, thanks for doing the dishes. I appreciate that. Just little things that he was already doing, but I would actually be able to start to filter for them and express it and feel it vibrationally. Within 6 months of that gratitude practice, of that appreciation, I called it an adoration practice because I felt such a sense of adoration for him. Our marriage was in a completely different space. Like the juice and his appreciation back and the connection and the heart space, everything was so different within a few months of this gratitude, appreciation, adoration practice. It wasn't forced. I wasn't making shit up. It was there. I was appreciative, but I was allowing myself to feel it and gain momentum in it. And in the expression of it, he finally got to feel it. And through heart resonance, our marriage shifted tremendously into a completely different space. So there was the rewiring of the brain to be able to start to filter for what's working, which is an important mind shift. But there was also the allowing of the feeling and the vibrational momentum that comes through heart resonance and heart coherence. And that gets to what it is, what is now measured by Heart Math Institute in terms of heart coherence. When they talk about measuring the field around the heart, the way to get the heart back into coherence is with a steady breathing pattern of 5 breaths in and out, combined with a feeling of gratitude or appreciation or love or compassion. The activation of the heart. So when we start to rewire the mind into be able to hold the capacity for gratitude, and we are able to activate the vibration or the momentum of gratitude in the feeling body and in the heart, we're working with the neuroscience or the mental physical intersection, and we're working with the emotional and spiritual intersection at the heart space. Does that make sense? So then we bring in the pranic layer of the body. So the mind and the neural pathways are focused on the thoughts of what's working, of what we're appreciating. The feeling, the emotion of love or gratitude or appreciation is activating and creating momentum in the heart. And our presence and our pranic body is connected to the breath and the vibration, the sensation of that in the body. And then all 6 layers of the body are activated around that which we want more of. that which we want to amplify in our lives. Does that make sense? Through law of attraction, then what we're doing as we amplify that which is working, that which we love, that which we're appreciating, we can then, through resonance, attract much more of that into our lives because of the law of karma, or the law of the circle, which is, I am grateful for everything that I need coming toward me. And that will gather more data or more experiences. So I'm more grateful for all that is continuing to come near me and with me and to me. And we're paving the pathway of that which works, instead of where the ego mind naturally goes, which is to what's not working, and therefore attracting more of what's not working. Even if you don't believe in the law of attraction and all of the woo-woo, if you train your brain to filter for what's working, then the millions of bits of information that are coming in will start to filter for that which is working, just through how the brain works and the data receptivity of the brain. But if we can activate gratitude and abundance vibrationally through our hearts, through what we see, through what we feel, through our pranic energetic layers of the body, that, in my opinion, is gratitude. And then if we were to take it a step further, once we get our brains really wired to filter for what's working, because in my opinion, gratitude needs that as the precursor. We need to be able to see what's working in order to feel the gratitude. What's working, what we have, what's enough there. So if we can train the brain to begin to filter for that, what starts to happen in my experience of life, and I got a really big negative mind, so it's not like I'm a love and lighter. But what happens is when something shitty happens, I still can I see the crappy thing, but then I see all of the blessing and the grace around that thing. Like, well, glad that happened while she's still living with us than when she's off at college. Those positive thoughts and those grateful thoughts around the crappy thing. Well, as long as we found that out now rather than later down the road. So when we are wired to be able to filter for what's working, even in the contrast, even in the shadow, even in the aspects of ourselves that are not the love and light, we can see the grace. We can see the divinity, we can see the blessings in that. Let's take it a step further. We all have those parts of ourselves that we don't like, whether it be my muffin top or my controlling nature, my emotional shadow qualities, my mind's shadow qualities, my physical aspects. That which we judge, that we don't like. But what if with these shadow qualities, we knew that the shadow wasn't the complete picture? When we rewire our brain to be able to see what's working, then even in the shadow of that which is not working within us, we can see the other side of that, which is the beauty of that same quality. So if I don't like that I'm controlling, I can focus on that, and my negative mind can go to town on myself about that. But if my brain is wired for what is working, then very quickly when I see that, I can also see that it's that very fire that allows me to have the courage to stand up in front of groups and say things that are bold, that are not mainstream, that are courageous. So what if you wired your brain such that you can't look at yourself or someone else in the negative mind without seeing the gifts of that same quality? without seeing the grace of that situation, without seeing the beauty in the horror. Yes, I thought COVID was a really unfortunate situation, and I couldn't help but feel all of the blessings. And the more I felt the blessings, the more blessings I had. And then I just felt like the whole world was on a vacation and I was enjoying it. So it could have been the worst thing. And I'm a very fortunate person and I have privilege. So I just want to note that there is that privilege in those statements that I'm saying. However, if you've seen people visit the poorest countries and you see children with gratitude and joy who have nothing, this isn't really about what we have. It's about our perspective in this moment and whether we can bring ourselves back to the present moment to see the beauty, to see the haves, to see the gifts. And that's what we're going to practice in our meditation right now. So let's go in, shall we? If you will, close your eyes and come into your breath, and let's activate our heart coherence to a place of gratitude. Now, sometimes people need to focus on something to be grateful for. And if that's you, that's fine. If you will, close your eyes and breathe into your heart. Take your breath down into your belly, into your back. And as you connect into your heart, allow yourself to touch on your soul flame, that fire within your heart. As you exhale, just fan that flame of love and compassion. It's in there. On the next breath, just expand this flame into your entire body, into every cell, imagining the pink fire. And as you see this pink flame engulf your entire body, send it out into that bubble around you, into that space around you, igniting that feeling of love and compassion, if you will, gratitude, appreciation. Sealing off your energy field, that bubble around you. Good. Now, if you will, send that pink light from your heart down your spine and legs and feet into Mother Gaia, into this earth. Anchoring yourself into the earth and her elements. Sending that sacred love, if you will, into the forests, the land, the mountains. Sending it into the oceans and the lakes and the rivers, the elements of water. Feeling that love and appreciation you have for the air, clean air. And as you breathe into this earth, allow yourself to feel your connection to this earth. Feel the sun on the earth. Feel your gratitude for the water, the sun, the land, the trees. Feel your connection to nature. And allow yourself to feel as you do when you go into the forest or the ocean. Good. And as you feel that appreciation for this earth and her elements, feel yourself in complete gratitude to the animals, whether it's your animals or those that roam and fly around this earth. Allow yourself to feel the beauty and the gift of this earth, of nature. And as you feel this earth, feel the totality of our planet. Begin to feel all of the people on the planet. And as you feel this connection to the earth, now send a connection from your heart straight up into the cosmos, into the universe, straight up to divine source. And whatever deities you believe in, whether that's Buddha, Jesus, the angels, light beings. And as you connect with the space above, if you will, just feel the profound gratitude, appreciation for the expansive universe, to the divine, to your guides. As you breathe in from that space and you open to the divine light, feel yourself receiving from the space above and the space below, your vertical line to divine and the sacred earth meeting at your heart. Allow yourself to feel the abundance available to you right here in this present moment. The abundance of your breath as it pulses with the breath of the earth. The abundance of the light as you pull from the light of the divine. And as you feel these sacred energies meeting at your heart, begin to now synchronize your breath with that horizontal line. As you breathe in through the left hand and arm, receiving. And as you exhale through the right arm and hand, as you give, release. Feeling yourself as an ever-flowing vessel of receiving and giving. As you receive, allow yourself right now to envision all the people, all the situations, the places and the spaces of your life. And as you breathe in, allow those experiences to filter through your heart, expanding your heart. And as you exhale, release. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. As you breathe in through the left, just focus on those people that have given you so much love, care, friendship, opportunities. As you breathe that in through the left, the divine feminine, the receptive side of your body, hold them there in your heart as you filter these people, their experiences, through a deep sense of appreciation in your heart. And as you focus and release through your right arm, just offer your thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Inhaling, receiving the love. Exhaling, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Allowing your mind's eye to stay focused for every person, every situation, every aspect of beauty you've been graced with. Let your inhale take it in and receive it. And as you exhale, thank you, thank you, I love you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Breathing in and receiving, retaining it in your heart so you can savor, and exhaling your gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Starting to feel that flow of abundance. No need to attach, grip, or hold on to that which is coming and flowing your way. There's a never-ending flow of this love, of this abundance pouring in to your heart. You just need to receive it fully. And at the same time, let go of it with your gratitude, releasing it back to the universe, to others. So once you feel like you've fully received, let yourself still receive through that left arm and that left side of the body, but begin to bless other people with that abundance, Oprah style. And you get love, and you get your life partner, and you get all the money you need, and you, and you, and you. Just see yourself pouring it Lakshmi style with abundance, blessing everyone. You know you have overflow when you can pour it out, knowing that the more you pour out in blessings to other people, the more you receive manyfold. So letting your breath inhale, receive, and as you exhale, begin to send this abundance out to those who show up in your mind's eye who need this very thing. It doesn't come from you, it comes from divine, but your call, your intention makes it so. Maybe they're in too much scarcity to ask for it themselves. Begin to see the poor, the hungry, the unloved, the unworthy, receiving exactly those gifts. Inhaling, receiving it into yourself. Exhaling, commanding it into each and every one of their lives. Safety, connection, worthiness, love and care, truth, divine connection. Begin to see yourself as that fountain, that ever-flowing fountain, pouring out from the overflow, the love, grace, the abundance, so that it's now connected to your breath, this feeling of receiving, of giving. And if you will, now focus on that one relationship, that one situation where you've lacked a deep state of appreciation. Focusing on that, pouring your gratitude. That can be a person, an organization, the divine, and simply say, thank you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Just feel your connection to your heart and your connection to the heart of that person or the divine or that organization or situation. Begin to pour that pink flame of sacred divine love from your heart to their heart. Recognizing that whatever you've loved stays in your heart forever, from lifetime to lifetime. So just feel that eternal connection to that which you love, that which you appreciate. And seal that with the violet consuming flame, violet light, anchoring in that ever-flowing gratitude by saying, and so it is done. And so it is done.